hosted by Eric Zimmett, myself, brought to you by Braden Social Media, boutique agency, helping brands swim against the stream. We are, today, a couple updates. Slight tweak to the name. It's This Week in Social now, covering the latest in social marketing, business, and technology. We are attempting to go live today on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. That's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So welcome everyone to episode 4. 4 already. We've tested a few platforms for this. We have tested Zoom's new, let's say maybe live streaming platform. Well, no, it wasn't live, but recordable video platform called Clips. Was really happy with the video quality, but the audio quality was not really that great. Figured that out a little better with the mic, but still was not able to save the video, so I couldn't really, had to live exclusively on Zoom, and they didn't make it too easy to share the video. So we've landed here. I figured let's just go live. So we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We're going to try to do this every Wednesday around noon. Today on the show, the iMac celebrates 25 years. It was 25 years ago today they released iMac from Apple. X is limiting the reach of rival social networks. Also a little bit about the Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg cage match, which we mentioned a week or two ago. And Xiaomi has announced its latest foldable phone. So today on episode 4, how the iMac saved Apple. This on The Verge. It was 25 years ago Apple released a computer that would save it from bankruptcy and pave the way for Apple to become the most important technology company ever. There's a book that I listened to, audiobook. It was called, I think just Steve Jobs. It was by Walter Isaacson. Really excellent read. He covered Apple's and Steve Jobs' story from the beginning. And then Steve Jobs, of course, getting ousted from Apple at one point, came back to save the company. Really excellent read, and gives you a lot of insight into, well, both what went on with Apple and how they became the company they are today, as well as Steve Jobs' personality, his management style, and I mean, really the genius of his design and ideas, and the team that he used to build Apple, and just how innovative they were at the time. Even into some advertising it gets into as well. Here on The Verge, original iMac entered a computing world that was in desperate need of a shakeup. And it was 97 that Jobs returned to an Apple that was at death's door, The Verge says. True Princess Bride style. So it was Jobs and designer Jony Ives, who was so instrumental. But if you get a chance, really check out that book, Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, and discover that story of Apple and Steve Jobs. Even if you're not an Apple fan, it's an excellent story. And also how Steve Jobs went on to help create Pixar, which I didn't know about. I wasn't aware of that. Not sure a ton of people are. Next, we've talked a lot about X, formerly Twitter, now owned by Elon Musk. Elon has really shaken up the platform. A lot of people don't like it, what he's done. I'm probably one of them, not too happy with it. But because of this shake-up, or at least it was amazing timing from Facebook and Instagram, during all these changes and all of this, uproar around the new X app, they've renamed everything. Twitter is gone. I mean, basically completely gone. Instagram released a new app called Threads, which a lot of people are calling a Twitter clone of sorts. So it might be taking the place of a lot of those Twitter users who are unhappy with the rebranding to X, moving, I'd imagine, to Threads, and maybe some new users as well who had never experimented with um, Twitter. Checking the users right now, Threads, if they have a count of that. CNN says Threads now has tens of millions of users daily. Fell slightly after launch, which is kind of expected. Fell on July 7th from 49 million to 23.6 million users. So still an impressive, I think, performance for a young app like this. So speaking of those apps, back to X. So X was just announced this on social media today that X is limiting the reach of some links to and mentions to rival social networks, Threads likely being one of them, as well as I'm sure Facebook, Instagram, things like that. That's not too surprising. So they're limiting the reach and shareability, I guess, because of that to these other networks, which I don't agree with, but I'm not too surprised by. X is also actually throttling links to, this is worse, throttling links to news publications that Elon Musk doesn't agree with, that he doesn't like. As a journalism major, I mean, this is not good. That's not fair, fair journalism. Journalists should be down the middle, not have too many, not have opinions one way or another, or slant the news. I mean, every network has some kind of slant, but Facebook, to compare this to Facebook, very contrasting policies. Facebook, from what I understand, has been limiting reach to news sites that are proven or that are have shown more false information, or maybe too opinionated on news sites, limiting those false news sources. Musk and X, on the other hand, is just throttling things that Musk doesn't like, which is completely different. And I don't agree with that at all. Let me see if social media today made that reference as well. I don't see it here. Here's a brief overview, though, from social media today of publishers that Elon has directly criticized as of late. So you can bet that these have been limited. The reach of these has been limited on X. That includes the New York Times, Reuters, The Guardian, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, BBC. I mean, those are all pretty great news sources. I mean, especially the New York Times, Reuters, Wall Street Journal. Those are just ones he's criticized. So I'm sure the list of things he's news sources he's limited is even bigger than that. Speaking of Musk, this is something we talked about a week or two ago as well. The much talked about Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg cage fight. We have updates here. This week, Musk announced that he had to possibly have back surgery. So that was maybe putting off the fight indefinitely. Now Zuckerberg tweets or posts. He posts on Threads. Elon won't confirm a date, then says he needs surgery, and now asks to do a practice round in my backyard instead. If Elon ever gets serious about a real date and an official event, he knows how to reach me. Yeah, this was days after Musk posted on X that the proposed fight would take place in an epic location in Italy. So this, like I said before, I thought from the beginning this is all kind of a joke. Zuckerberg seems to be taking this seriously, but it doesn't look like Musk is. I don't think that'll ever happen. Pretty silly. I bet a lot of people would tune in, though, honestly. So Zuckerberg wants to know when he's ready to compete in a real MMA fight. It says representatives from Meta and X did not respond to CNBC's request for comment. And that was from CNBC. And finally, rounding out the social and tech news of the week, Xiaomi's latest foldable is announced in China just this week. Xiaomi is essentially China's Apple. And my first fitness band, which I just came across yesterday, but I seem to have misplaced it here. My first fitness band was a Xiaomi Mi band. And they were a cool little band, just a rubber band. This is my Apple Watch, of course. Cool little rubber band that didn't have much on the band itself. There was no screen at the time. This was years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago. But everything was operated in the app. You could see, steps, activity, things like that. They're cheap too. I don't know, $20, I think. Very cool. But Xiaomi's releasing a lot of great phones. They're, of course, based in China. That's their main audience. So they just released the Mix Fold 3, announced in China this week. It's rated to survive 500,000 folding cycles. Although it says it's unlikely to get released in other countries, which is a bit of a shame. Their foldable phones have picked up here in the US as well. I think it's Samsung's that I've seen in commercials as of late. A lot more commercials than I had seen previously. So there are other foldable smartphones out here. I believe too. I mean, Xiaomi's releasing a lot of items here in the US. I think the hot shoe protector is in my Sony A7C camera is I think it's a Xiaomi Mi branded hot shoe adapter. Almost positive. All right, everybody. Well, we are hitting our mark here for the day. I am excited about the new show format, This Week in Social, which will broadcast every Wednesday around the noon hour across Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram here. Say goodbye to everybody, and thanks for tuning in. For Braden Social, I'm Eric Zimmett, and we will catch you next week. Now I have to just cancel these videos on all platforms, and you can watch me do that. All right, we'll see you, everybody.